So good day, nurses. Now let's discuss the endocrine system. When we say endocrine system, it controls and coordinates the body activities by releasing hormones directly into the bloodstream. These hormones regulate the growth, metabolism, reproduction, and homeostasis. So let's differentiate endocrine and exocrine. So when we say endocrine, usually yung endocrine glands natin, okay? Your endocrine glands, they don't have ducts, okay? No ducts sila. When exocrine gland have duct, ibig sabihin, sige, lagay ko na lang dito, endo, and exo. Pag sinabi nating endo, no duct or ductless. Ito, with duct or have duct. With duct. Pag sinabi namang secretion, they secrete hormones. Pag exocrine, they secrete enzymes, sweat, and saliva. Okay? Target, inside the body. Ito, outside the body. Okay. So, parang ganito lang yan. Inside the body, dahil bloodstream, they directly go to the bloodstream. Bakit? Wala nga silang duct. Unlike dito, may duct sila. Okay, may duct sila, may pagdadaanan sila. Okay, kaya outside the surface of the body ang usually target nila. Kasi saan ba lumalabas ang sweat? Diba? Lumalabas yan sa ating mga skin. O yung saliva natin. Okay? So, yan yung mga example ng endo, yung pinagkaiba ni endo and exo natin. So, we have the major, different endocrine glands natin. Okay? May mga endocrine glands tayo. Ano yung mga yun? First, we have your hypothalamus. Okay, one of the major endocrine gland is the hypothalamus. Your hypothalamus, it calls the control or the master controller of the pituitary gland. Okay, it produces the releasing and inhibiting hormones. So it means that your hypothalamus, kaya siya tinawag na master controller of the pituitary gland because hypothalamus connect brain and endocrine system. So, kinoconnect niya si brain and kinoconnect niya si endocrine system. So kaya siya tinawag na master controller of the pituitary gland. Next natin, your pituitary gland. Your pituitary gland is also known as the master gland. Bakit siya tinawag na master gland? Because it controls other gland or most of the endocrine gland, the pituitary glands control it. So, what are those? So, si pituitary gland natin, may dalawang side tayo. Your anterior and posterior. Pag sinabi natin anterior, harap, posterior, likod. Si anterior natin, dahil nasa harap siya, makapal ang mukha niya. Si posterior natin, dahil nasa likod siya, mahiyain siya. So, kapag once na ang anterior ay makapal ang mukha, parang sa handaan lang. Diba? Pag once na makapal ang mukha mo, marami kang nakakain. Kapag kapag mahiyain ka, konti ang nakakain mo. So, it means that your anterior pituitary gland, marami siyang nakakain. Therefore, marami siyang napoproduce na hormone compared kay posterior pituitary gland na mahiyain. So, si anterior pituitary gland natin, babae. So, meron tayong F and M, your female. Ano ang OB scoring natin or anong scoring na ginagamit natin for female? Your GT-PAL. So, FMGT-PAL ang mnemonic natin. So, F, we have your FSH. Okay? Your FSH, pupunta yan sa ovary. Para saan? Anong gagawin niya? For the maturation. Okay? Maturation ng ovum. Next, your M. Your melanocyte stimulating hormone. Your melanocyte stimulating hormone, pupunta yan sa skin. Okay? Para, anong gagawin niya? To secrete melanin for dark pigmentation. Next, your G, we have the growth hormone. Your growth hormone, pupunta yan sa muscles, bones. Anong gagawin niya doon? For growth. Next, your T, thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay? Your thyroid stimulating hormone, pupunta yan sa thyroid gland to produce thyroid hormone. Next, your P, prolactin, pupunta yan sa breast. Anong gagawin niya dun? For milk production. Next, your A, we have your adrenocorticotropic hormone, pupunta yan sa adrenal gland to secrete cortisol. And lastly, your LH or your luteinizing hormone. Okay? Your luteinizing hormone, pupunta yan sa ovary. Anong gagawin niya sa ovary? For ovulation. Ovulation. Okay? So, yan yung mga sinisikret ng ating anterior pituitary gland. Next natin yung oxytocin. Mahiyain siya pero siya ay OA. Okay? Bakit siya OA? Because it produces your OA. First, we have your oxytocin. And your anti-diuretic hormone. Your oxytocin, pupunta yan sa breast and pupunta din yan sa uterus. Anong gagawin niya sa breast? For milk letdown reflex. Anong gagawin niya sa uterus? Pupunta yan for uterine contractility. Okay? For uterine contractility. So, yan yung mga pinoproduce ng ating pituitary gland. Usually, this one are yung tinatawag natin na tropic hormones. Okay? Yung mga yan ay tinatawag natin na tropic hormones. Bakit? Okay? Usually, they stimulate endocrine glands to secrete hormone. Okay? They are called the tropic hormones because they are the one who stimulate the endocrine glands to produce or to secrete hormone. Okay? Yun yung usually pinoproduce ni ating pituitary gland, tropic hormones. So, puntahan natin si thyroid gland natin. Okay? Your thyroid gland, ang nag-stimulate sa kanya your thyroid stimulating hormone na produce ni anterior pituitary gland. So, ngayon, ang thyroid gland natin, for example, there's an usually kasi ang endocrine gland natin is kinokontrol yan ng negative feedback. Okay? It controls by negative feedback. By how? Okay? Paano nakokontrol ng negative feedback? For example, decrease ang calcium. Okay? Decrease ang calcium sa blood. Anong gagawin natin? Anong gagawin yan? Pag decrease yung calcium sa blood, ang body natin will stimulate the hypothalamus. Sasabihin niya, hypothalamus, kulang ako ng calcium. Si calcium mo, anong gagawin niya? Si hypothalamus will stimulate your parathyroid gland. Okay, stimulate niya si parathyroid gland para si parathyroid gland mag-produce ng parathormone or your parathyroid hormone. This parathyroid hormone will stimulate, okay, yung tinatawag natin na what they call this one, the bone resorption. Okay? Ang anong gagawin niya dun sa bone resorption? Gagawin niya yung calcium deposit mo sa buto ay ilalabas na yan sa blood para tumaas yung calcium level mo. That's a negative feedback na sinasabi natin. So, if in case na merong mababa, mag-produce ng another hormone para pataasin yung mababa para ma-maintain yung homeostasis. That's a negative feedback. Okay, your thyroid gland produces three thyroid hormones. Your triiodothyronine, the thyroxine, and your calcitonin. These two is responsible for metabolism. Okay, your cellular metabolism. And this calcitonin is responsible for the calcium regulation. Okay? Your calcitonin is responsible for the calcium regulation. Paano ba nangyayari itong triiodothyronine natin and triiodothyroxine natin? Cellular metabolism, ito si cell. Okay. Ito si cell natin. Si cell natin, okay, kailangan niya makipag-interact. Okay, makipag-interact sugar. Okay, si sugar, pag once na nakipag-interact yan kayo O2, that's the time na magkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na cellular metabolism. When sugar and O2 meets together, that's the time na magkakaroon ng cellular metabolism. And your cellular metabolism has 3 byproducts. First, heat. Second, water. And lastly, your ATP. Yung ATP natin, yan yung gagamitin ng cell natin to be his or her energy. Okay, gagamitin yan ng cell natin para maging energy niya. So, kapag si heat, if in case na may hyperthyroidism, increase ang triiodothyronine, increase ang thyroxine natin. So, it means, kapag once na meron kang hyperthyroidism, mataas ang heat, mataas ang water, mataas ang ATP mo. Ibig sabihin, pag mataas ang ATP mo, irritable ka, active ka, hindi ka makatulog, insomnia. Okay, hindi ka makatulog kasi active yung brain mo. Ang daming iniisip. Next, water. There's a water accumulation in the back of the eye. So, pag may water accumulation sa back ng eye mo, ilalabas, ipupush na yung eyeball mo. Yun yung tinatawag nating exophthalmos. Then next, metabolism, heat. Meron kang heat intolerance. Kahit nasa aircon ka, nag-iinit ka pa rin. Okay? That is the hyperthy. Kabiliktaran naman niya kapag hypothy. So, pag cellular metabolism ang tinatanong, that is responsible. The thyroid hormone is responsible for that. Okay? So, usually, ano ang ating, ang intervention natin kapag ganito? Usually, ang intervention natin dyan, we have your thyroidectomy. Okay? Ang ating ano dito is your thyroidectomy. Okay. Sa thyroidectomy natin, okay, anong complication natin kapag mag-undergo si patient ng thyroidectomy? Ang complication natin dyan is the accidental removal of parathyroid gland. Diba? Kasi si parathyroid gland natin, nakadikit yan kay thyroid gland natin eh. Diba? Kung si thyroid gland is butterfly shape, yung parathyroid gland natin, yung mga bilog na 4, that is your parathyroid gland. So, kapag inalis si thyroid gland, may possibility kasi na maalis din si parathyroid gland. Remember that your parathyroid gland is responsible for the regulation of calcium. So, kapag once na natanggal ang ating parathyroid gland, may tendency na mag-decrease ang calcium sa ating katawan. Okay? Magde-decrease ang calcium sa ating katawan. And what are the manifestation na nagde-decrease ang calcium sa ating katawan? Una, meron tayong tinatawag na, what do you call this one? Muscle twitching. Okay? Pwede magkaroon tayo ng muscle twitching. Ano pa? Numbness. Pag decrease ang calcium, may muscle twitching, numbness, tingling sensation. Okay, tingling sensation usually ng lips, finger, and toes. Yan yung nangyayari kapag may mababa ang calcium level sa ating katawan. Again, pag nag-undergo ng thyroidectomy, there will be a complication yung tinatawag natin na the accidental removal of parathyroid gland. Parathyroid gland is responsible for the calcium regulation. So, pag natanggal siya, bababa ang calcium level natin. And what are the manifestation? Magkakaroon ng muscle twitching, numbness, tingling sensation in the lips, finger, and toes. Okay? So, yan ang mangyayari sa atin. Okay? Next naman natin, we have adrenal gland. Okay? Your adrenal gland has two parts, your medulla and your cortex. Si medulla, yan yung inner. Si cortex, yung labas. Okay? Inner and outer. Si medulla natin, it produces catecholamines. We have two, your epinephrine and your norepinephrine. Epi and norepi, para saan yan? Para sa fight or flight response. Okay? Fight or flight response. Ibig sabihin, for the sympathetic response natin. So, for example, hinabol ka ng aso, yan, fight or flight ang ginagamit natin. Epi ang ginagamit mo. Nagkasunog, nagka-panic attack ka, epi ang ginagamit nating hormone. Na-activate sila. If ever na nagkaroon ng accident or what do you call this one? Nagkaroon ka ng sinasabi na lang natin na baha, ganyan, or pagkalindol, di ba, nagpapanik attack tayo, nagugulat ka na nabubuhat mo yung refrigerator kahit di mo naman nabubuhat talaga, nagiging malakas tayo, or kung hindi, pag hinabol tayo ng aso, nagugulat tayo, mas mabilis tayong tumakbo than before. Kasi yun, fight or flight yung ginagamit natin. Okay, that's your epinephrine and your norepinephrine. Next natin your cortex, your glucocorticoid, mineralocorticoid, and androgen. Okay, your glucocorticoid, mineralocorticoid, and your androgens. Okay? So, these three, always remember lang class yung S natin. Glucocorticoid for sugar, mineralocorticoid for salt, and your androgen is for the sex hormone. Okay? For the sex hormone. So, pag once na nagkaroon ng increase, okay, increased GMA, yan na yung tatawagin natin na Cushing's. Okay? Pag increase, Cushing disease. Pag decrease, sure, Addison's disease. Kaya ano pinagkaiba nila? Pag Cushing, increase kasi in si GMA. So, mataas ang sugar niya, mataas ang salt niya, mataas ang androgens niya. So, it means merong excessive glucose, excessive sodium, may tawag na nito, hypernatremia. Okay, magkakaroon siya ng hypernatremia. So, pag may hypernatremia class, always remember, pag mataas ang salt, mababa ang potassium. Pag mataas ang salt, mababa ang potassium. Sodium and potassium are inversely proportion. Hindi sila lagi yan magkasama. Dapat sila ay magkaaway. So, if in case na mataas ang sodium natin, bababa ang calcium. So, kapag once naman na mababa ang sugar, ang sodium, tataas naman ang calcium. They are inversely proportion. So, ano ang management natin kapag mag-undergo si patient sa Cushing? In case na may Cushing si patient, sabi natin excessive, increase. So, anong gagawin natin? Tanggalin ngayon natin si adrenal gland mo. Tanggalin natin si adrenal gland mo para hindi na tumaas yung production. Kaso, ang problema natin kapag adrenalectomy, if yung pasyente natin nag-undergo ng adrenalectomy, the removal of the adrenal gland, okay, ang kailangan nating bantayan is the blood pressure of your patient. We need to check the blood pressure of your patient. Bakit? Remember, si salt natin, pwedeng bumaba yan. Ang adrenal gland natin, it regulates. Okay, it regulates the blood pressure. So, pwedeng bumaba yan. Kaya kailangan ang priority assessment natin will be the blood pressure. Kasi pwedeng magkaroon ng hypovolemia ang pasyente natin if si patient nag-undergo ng adrenalectomy. Okay, so yan ang ating adrenal gland. So, next, we have the pancreas. Okay, the pancreas. Pancreas natin may dalawang part tayo. Your endocrine and your exocrine gland. Anong pinagkaiba nitong dalawa? Okay? Ano pinagkaiba nilang dalawa? Pag sinabi nating endocrine, for, parang doon lang kanina, with duck and ductless. Si exocrine kasi natin, usually for digestive purposes yan. Okay? Your exocrine produces digestive enzyme. We have your amylase, your lipase, and your protease. Your amylase digests carbohydrates or carbs, lipase, fats, and protease, protein. Okay? Pag endocrine naman, meron tayong tinatawag na islets of Langerhans. These islets of Langerhans, okay, the islets of Langerhans natin, anong tawag na nito? They are group of cells. Okay? Si islets of Langerhans, group of cells sila yan. So, ibig sabihin, kung group of cells sila, hindi lang iisang cell ang makikita natin. Sa islets of Langerhans natin, meron tayong alpha cells, beta cells, and your delta cells. Si alpha cells natin, okay, si alpha cells natin produces your glucagon. Okay? Siya ang nagproproduce nung glucagon na tinatawag natin. Next natin, we have your beta cells. Your beta cells produces insulin. Okay? It produces your insulin. And next one, your delta cells produces your somatostatin. Para saan si glucagon natin? Your glucagon, it increases the sugar. Okay, pinapataas na yung sugar. Paano? Okay, for example, may kinain tayo, may intake tayo na kailangan ng intake lang natin ng sugar is 250 mg per day. For example lang Tapos ngayon, dahil excessive, mahilig ka kumain ng matamis, mahilig ka mag-milk tea, mahilig ka mag-Starbucks, umabot ng 500 mg yung intake mo ng sugar a day. So, may excessive ngayon tayo na 250. Etong 250 na yan, kailangan niya mo convert into glycogen. Okay. Mako-convert siya into glycogen. Glycogen is the stored glucose ng ating katawan. Pag na-convert siya into glycogen, dadalhin yan sa liver. Bakit? Kasi doon itatago. Doon ang storage natin ng glycogen natin. Para if in case na nangailangan ng ating katawan ng sugar, may gagamitin tayo ngayon as emergency source ng ating cell. So ngayon, for example, gutom ka na, wala ka pang intake. So usually na-experience natin to yung nalilipasan ng gutom. Now for example, kumain ka, and then after how many hours or minutes, wala na yung gutom mo. Kasi nga, ginamit natin yung stored glucose natin. At sinong may responsible dun? Your glucagon. For example, nag-decrease yung sugar sa ating katawan. Pag nag-decrease yung sugar sa ating katawan, usually ang ginagawa ng ating body, yung brain natin will stimulate your alpha cells to produce glucagon. Okay, pag na-detect na decrease ang sugar, i-stimulate ni hypothalamus si alpha cells na mag-produce ng glucagon. And then yung glucagon natin, pupunta yan sa liver natin. Bakit? Kailangan niyang i-break down si glycogen back to sugar. At kapag once na naibalik niya si glycogen back to sugar, yung sugar na yan, gagamitin na ngayon ng cell natin yan para may pang-energy siya. Ngayon, nawala yung gutom natin. Yan ang function ng ating glucagon. Next naman natin your beta cells. Your insulin, ito yung mga function ni insulin natin. First, insulin, number one function niya is to facilitating glucose uptake. Okay, facilitating glucose uptake. Paano niya i-facilitate yung glucose uptake ng cells? Facilitating glucose uptake by cells. Okay, paano? Ito na yung pag-increase, 'di ba? Yung insulin natin act as a key. So hindi makakapasok yung sugar sa loob ng cells natin hanggang walang insulin. Ito na ngayon, facilitating glucose uptake by the cell. Second one, promoting glycogenesis. Promoting glycogenesis. Okay, glycogenesis is the conversion of glucose into glycogen for storage. Okay, so sino ang nag-aano dyan? Si insulin. Okay, so for example, excessive na masyado na madaming sugar sa ating katawan. The insulin will convert, siya na yung magfa-facilitate, magpo-promote na dapat yung excess glucose natin ma-convert siya into glycogen para dalhin na sa liver para sa storage. And then next, inhibiting gluconeogenesis. Okay, inhibiting gluconeogenesis. Okay, inhibiting gluconeogenesis. And lastly, stimulating protein synthesis and fat storage. Okay, so yan yung apat na function ng ating insulin. Facilitating glucose uptake by the cells, papasok yung sugar sa loob ng cells natin para mag-decrease yung sugar, promoting glycogenesis, inhibiting gluconeogenesis, and stimulating protein synthesis and fat storage. So what are the diagnostic tests na ginagawa natin dito? For example, sa DM natin. Okay, sa DM natin, meron tayong different blood sugar test na ginagawa. Okay, meron tayong different blood sugar test. Okay, so we have the different diagnostic tests. First, we have the FBS, the fasting blood sugar. Sa fasting blood sugar natin, from the word fasting, kailangan ng NPO. Okay, kailangan NPO ang pasyente natin. Okay, so usually, pag nag-NPO yan, 6 to 8 hours or 8 to 10 hours. Okay, sabihin na lang natin 6 to 12 hours. Okay, NPO, and then pagdating ng AM, kukuha tayo ng dugo. Yung blood sugar mo, dapat hanggang 80 to 120 mg per deciliter. Pag yan ay nag-more than 120, that's hyperglycemia. Pwede kang merong diabetes mellitus. Okay, FBS. Next natin your RBS, your random blood sampling or blood sugar. From the word random, kukuha tayo ng dugo anytime. Okay, usually ang gagawin natin dito kung anytime yan, dapat ang blood sugar mo is below 200 mg per deciliter. Pag yan ay nag more than 200, ibig sabihin hyperglycemia, pwede ka nilang i-diagnose na may diabetes mellitus. Next natin, we have your postprandial. Okay, sa postprandial natin, usually ginagawa to sa mga gestational diabetes mellitus, pag mga pregnant client. Usually, yung ginagawa dito sa ating postprandial, nagbibigay tayo ng 75 gram of glucose. Okay, nagbibigay tayo ng 75 gram of glucose. Okay, yung 75 of gram of glucose yan, hahatiin natin yan into 2 hours. Okay, i-check natin yung blood sugar niya in 2 hours. Paano to? Ganito siya. Okay, first hour, second hour. Okay, sa first R, dapat yung glucose mo ay below 200 milligram per deciliter. Okay, dapat below 200 milligram per deciliter. Next naman natin, kapag second R na, dapat yung sugar mo ay below 140 milligram per deciliter. Pag yan ay above 200 mg during first R and above 140 during the second R, it means pwede kang merong diabetes mellitus. That is the postprandial test. Usually ginagawa yan kapag may mga, usually ginagawa yan sa, tawag nito, sa gestational diabetes or sa mga pregnant client. Next natin, we have your OGTT. Okay, your OGTT or the oral glucose tolerance test. Paano naman to ginagawa? So, ginagawa natin to FBS plus postprandial. So, parang combination siya ng fasting blood sugar and postprandial. So, una, NPO ka. Okay, NPO ka, usually 6 to 8 hours or 6 to 12 hours. Okay. After NPO, AM, kukuhanin ka ng dugo. Yung dugo mo, dapat umabot yan ng 80 to 120 mg per deciliter para masabihin nating normal. After nyan, bibigyan ka ng 75 gram na glucose. Okay? Bibigyan ka ng 75 gram na glucose. Yung 75 gram na glucose natin, okay, yung 75 gram na glucose natin, hahatiin natin yan into 2 hours. So, dapat below 200 mg and sa second hour natin, below 140 mg. Okay, 140 mg dapat siya. Kapag yan ay matataas, pwede ka nila ngayon i-diagnose na merong diabetes mellitus. And last natin, your confirmatory test or confirmatory test. Confirmatory test natin ay tinatawag natin na glycosylated hemoglobin test. Okay, your glycosylated hemoglobin test. Usually, kaya niyang ma-detect yung 2 to 3 months blood sugar mo. Okay, kaya niyang ma-detect yung past blood sugar mo within 2 to 3 months. Okay, for example, ngayon is June, kaya niya yung May, June. Okay, so March. Yung March mo, yung blood sugar mo nung March, kaya niyang ma-detect. Okay, that's your confirmatory test. Paano natin to i-check? Okay, pag once na 4.5, pag ang sugar mo is 4 to 5.6, that is normal. Normal siya. Pag 4 to 5.6%, normal. Pag yan naman ay 5.7 to 6.4%, that is pre-diabetes mellitus. Pag once naman na yan ay more than 6.5%, ikaw ay may diabetes mellitus. Pag yan naman ay more than 9%, that's already a severe diabetes. Okay? It's already a severe DM. So, yan si glycosylated hemoglobin. Confirmatory test natin for diabetes mellitus. Okay? So, balik tayo. Pancreas natin. We're done. Thyroid gland. Okay, your parathyroid gland. Your parathyroid gland, meron tayong tinatawag na parathormone. Si parathormone natin, responsible yan for calcium regulation. Okay, for calcium regulation. In case na mababa, si calcium kasi, ang ginagawa niya, calcium deposit sa bone. Si parathormone, nilalabas na yung calcium sa labas ng buto. So, for example, parathormone increases blood calcium level. Okay. Si parathormone, your parathormone increases the blood calcium level. Si calcitonin naman decreases the calcium level. So, parang nilalagay ni calcitonin yung calcium sa buto. Si parathormone naman, nilalabas na yung calcium sa buto, nilalagay niya sa blood. Yan ang function ni parathormone. Next natin your ovaries. Si ovaries naman, meron tayong dalawang hormone na pinoproduce niya. Your estrogen and progesterone. Si testes naman, meron siyang pinoproduce na testosterone, which is the hormone for male. And your pineal gland produces melatonin. Para saan si melatonin? For sleep cycle. Okay. For sleep cycle, si melatonin natin. Okay. So, we're done with your endocrine system. Okay. Okay. Babalik lang tayo dito, class. Okay, pag once sa adrenal, asan si adrenal? Okay, si adrenal gland natin, sabi natin nag-undergo ng adrenalectomy. Mababa yung blood sugar. Mababa yung blood pressure ni patient. Pag once na mababa yung blood pressure ni patient, tatawagin na natin yan na Addisonian crisis. Okay? We need to notify agad yung physician natin kasi that's already an emergency situation. Pwedeng ikamatay ni pasyente kasi it decreases the cardiac output. Okay? So, pag may hyperthyroidism class, usually mataas si triiodothyronine. Okay? Usually pag thyroid gland, asan si thyroid gland? Okay. Usually pag hyperthyroidism yan class, usually yung free T4 yung T4 natin is umaabot ng 4.5 nanogram per deciliter. Okay? Pag ganyan yung serum T4 natin, indicated na yan, indication na yan na merong hyperthyroidism. Sabi natin kanina, pag sa may adrenal gland, pag mataas ang calcium, mababa ang potassium. Pag mababa ang sodium, mataas ang calcium. So, anong indication natin pag may hypercalcemia? Pag may hypercalcemia, isa sa mga simptomas niya ay muscle weakness. Okay, may muscle weakness tayo pag hyperkalemia. Okay? Sorry, hyperkalemia dapat. Okay? Pag may hyperkalemia, indication yan. Isa sa mga simptomas niya, may muscle weakness. So, we're done with your endocrine system.